Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a timely tarot oracle reading about random shift. This is a general or collective reading, so parts of it may or may not resonate with you. Take what works for you and leave the rest. Also, this is a timely reading. If you are watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it has been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then? So we have, I did a quick meditation here, and I have the underlying energy for the reading is from the tarot is the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords is talking about being in a mental prison. It's the blindfold represents either not wanting to make the decision or not being able to see the solution. And this also is talking about being bound, and quite often this can represent being duty bound, possibly because this is going to affect people that you care about and not knowing which direction to go in. I feel like in the beginning there was way more water. Water in tarot represents emotion. And so this person is, I feel now, has had 7 thoughts. The swords in tarot represent the element of air and mental intelligence, discipline of the mind, and basically your thoughts. And so I feel that she has put 7 thoughts behind her now, and she has decided, okay, this is the one that I'm going to go with. But in the beginning, there was way more emotion attached, and as she became less emotional, she was able to have more and more clarity in this situation. She does have her right foot forward on dry land, and the left foot is still in a shallow puddle, but most of the emotion is dissipated, and she's decided, okay, this is the way to go. Soon she'll pick up this sword, cut herself free, and take the blindfold off and go do whatever it is that she needs to do. In the background here, you can see she has her back to her castle. So sometimes this can talk about having to leave your comfort zone or even leave the place where you live and people behind. And sometimes this can even represent not just her putting these thoughts behind her, but other people's thoughts behind her back. And then we also, from my oracle, Tales from the Vector, we have the Hangman. So the Hangman is represented by this dragonfly. Dragonflies are intimately connected to dragon energy, and their unique flight patterns have been used to, in the beginning of helicopters, the engineering of helicopters, they studied the way that dragonflies moved because they can hover, they can do complex aerial moves, and they can go straight up and down. And so they represent the power of light to reflect truth to any situation, and about mastery of life on the wing. So this is about being able to adapt to change very quickly and to make quicker decisions than this. But the Hangman, that's what this is talking about. In the tarot, the Hangman hangs from the tree of knowledge to he's upside down because he wants to gain a different perspective. He wants to look at a problem from every angle and then make the decision. Here, this is just represented by this dragonfly doing a headstand on an echinacea flower. So this is about healing energy as well, and quite often healing of the heart. This is about having balance in your life and being able to make strong decisions quickly. This sometimes can represent that there has been some stuck energy in this situation here with this card. Could be that something has been, the energy has been stagnant for a while, and it's time for it to now move forward. And that is being represented here. This is someone that is standing on the precipice of change. The energy is like, there's a distant shoreline. So this person is thinking about making a move, and it's also representing an energy sometimes of leaving like if someone was in a couple, leaving that energy behind and going forward as a single person. And sometimes it can represent the opposite. Most often, I feel this card represents moving forward as a single person now after being in a couple. And you notice on the water here, there's ships sailing by. Now, you can't really see the ships or the water. It looks like it might be sand, but this is just because the sun is shining on this water, and the ship sailing by, this person's thinking, you know, I might just hop on one of them babies and go for an adventure. It's that type of energy. It's about expansion. The wands represent the element of fire, and they're made of wood. Wood fuels the fire. And this is someone thinking about going on a new adventure, possibly after being stuck for quite some time. And then we have an energy of disappointment in love. So that could be perhaps why. Maybe they're tired of being where they're at. This energy, the cups in tarot do represent love. Quite often it is romantic, but sometimes it can just be, it could be love of anyone or anything, or even something that you love to do or something you love to be. So this person's clearly disappointed. They're sitting under the tree. We have 3 cups here, and there's a 4th cup being offered. In romantic love, sometimes this can represent a third-party energy, breaking up a couple, and that's kind of this type of energy as well. And this might even be a 4th cup, the ultimate gift of love, a baby, but maybe not the couples. So this, of course, would be a very disappointing situation for the person who's left out of that. This also can sometimes represent giving someone 3 chances and them asking for a 4th. And the energy is like, this could be a romantic partner, but it could be anyone in your family, friends. It could be a business partner, whatever this, you know, whatever it is, or even sometimes just having tried to get something started 3 times and not being able to accomplish it. So this is like someone coming forward and asking for a 4th chance after you've given them 3, and you're like, no way, I am done. 3 strikes, you're out. I'm out of, you know, like, go away. I am not going to entertain this again. And, you know, this also can represent, as I said, this energy of trying to launch something 3 times, or it could represent 3 different relationships that didn't work out in love or in partnerships, whatever that may be. So it can represent quite a bit. We do have a cup of love coming in after that. Now this is, the Knight of Cups is bringing in a cup of love. This is someone who, you know, we read about in all the romance novels, the knight in shining armor that comes in to save the damsel in distress, dressed to the nines with a solid offer of love. We always see them rescuing, and then they ride off into the sunset, but we never do hear about what happens after that. So we're not quite sure what happened. And then we have the moon, and the moon is talking about hidden illusions and secrets rising to the surface. This energy can be talking about a lot of emotion, like, as I said here, almost like this water would have been here at her feet, and climbing out of that emotion to get back on your path. Now, on one side, this lobster is thinking, how the heck am I going to get past the dog and the wolf? They're howling at the moon, and he's trying to figure out, is it possible for me to sneak past these 2 and not and they don't notice me because they're distracted by the moon, because if, you know, feeling very vulnerable, but really wanting to get back on his path. We have 2 pillars here, and he wants to stay in between these 2 pillars without having to go, you know, get distracted and go on long, you know, journeys to get around things. He wants to just go straight through. And this is talking about, this can be talking about eclipse season. That's when either the sun or the moon gets blocked out by the one or the other. And we have the sun, full moon, and the new moon here. So this can sometimes be talking about eclipse season. In eclipses, it tends to have an energy of lingering with us for 6 months. So if this card comes up, it could represent, take a look at what was going on 6 months ago in your life from whenever you're watching this, and it may give you some clue as to what is causing this stuck energy. Now we have the Star, and so this is talking about wanting to shine. This is saying you're a star, you're meant to shine. It's time to do so. The North Star here represents your destined path, being on your destined path. This is a very galactic energy. The Pleiades stars are here as well. And this person is pouring their own special qualities, unique individual qualities into the universal pool of water, and then pouring that out in 5 different streams here. Now those 5 streams represent the energy of the pentacle energy, which is about bringing your whatever this is, mixing it up in the universal pool, and then pouring that onto earth. So you're bringing your individually down to earth, and you shine bright. And this is talking about your being in the star energy. This also does represent innocence. You are always meant to be a star. You always have been a star, and you always will. And then this is talking about all the opportunities coming up. And so it's almost like you're a black hole just sucking all this opportunity, like, you know, and like a black hole, you are the center of your universe, as is everyone else. And you have to put your own spin on whatever these gifts are. It's kind of like, you notice that all these cups are surrounded by this cloud. So it's kind of saying, you know, you're the one who's going to have to bring out the qualities of these. Quite often these cups, whatever's in them is an opportunity for sure, but it can be disguised as a challenge. So you're the one who has to handle it in your own unique way so that you can bring what someone else would see as like a problem, you'll see a huge opportunity. And there's 7 of them. So one of those is beauty. And, you know, it's great to be beautiful. Life generally is easier when you're beautiful for a lot of people. It is, but it also can cause a lot of problems. So this is the other side of that coin, where people who are too beautiful end up sometimes relying on the beauty. And, you know, that is something that can fade. And it's talking about, are you as beautiful inside as you are outside? We also have the shrouded figure. We don't know what the hidden, like we can see the shroud from the outside and it looks a certain way, but what's really going on underneath the surface. We have a snake here. You could see that as an opportunity to shed your skin, allow yourself to release anything that's not working for you anymore. Or some people could see this as a yellow-bellied, you know, slithery energy that is cowardly. And then we also have this energy of a castle. You know, castles are great to have. They're very beautiful, and at the same time, they can be very isolating because where our castles usually on cliffs and it's hard to get to them. And we have flowers. The flowers can be closed or the flowers can be open. So it can be talking about, are you a closed individual? Are you ready to open your petals and to the opportunity? The laurel wreath is sometimes representing victory, and sometimes it's placed on coffins. And as well, this dragon, some people think of dragons as scary, evil beings, and some people think of them as, you know, beautiful luck coming forward. So it's how are you going to interpret the situation? And then we have the energy of the Four of Pentacles. Now, the Four of Pentacles energy is really coming up in the readings a lot lately. And it is like the pentacle energy. As I said, you know, here, this is what I was talking about, the 5 points on the star. This is representing matters of earth and earthly matters. That's because this is representing the energy of earth. And of course, on earth, if we are going to live in and have a good lifestyle, we need to have money. That's part of it. But this is talking less about like the lifestyle qualities of the pentacle energy. You could have all the money in the world and still not be living the lifestyle you want. This particular card is talking about actually the 3 levels of making money. And one of them is safe money. And this is your heart's desires, and then your crowning glory. So this can be talking about having a strong foundation. You have an even footing. Here, it's, you know, but it's the beginning of the energy. So this may indicate that you have a JOB, journey of the broke. So to get out of that cycle of just having enough to pay your bills, you need to go after your heart's desires, and then your crowning glory, which would be when you're in your star energy, following your North Star energy. And the universe, when you decide to take these opportunities and move forward like that, the universe loves to supply you with what you need to do so if you take the action to put towards it. This can talk about needing to leave your comfort zone, leaving the city that you were from. It's very hard to be a hero in your own hometown because people, if you grew up somewhere, people see you as you were when you were in grade 2. And they, now you might 25, 30 years have passed by and they're still saying, oh, I remember when they did that in kindergarten. So it's that type of energy, saying you may have been playing small, other people might be selling you short, and you might not be taking calculated risks that would lift you out of this energy into this. If this is like a real negative energy, it can talk about other people wanting to grab your opportunities from you, and so it just depends on what's going on. Why are you stuck? Why have you been stuck in this energy and not moving forward? And so let's keep going here. We have the Emperor. So the Emperor is someone who is all about high-level performance. He wears his armor underneath his robe, ready to, like the dragonfly, to go up, down, sideways, whatever, which way do I need to go? If there's an opportunity, he's ready to grab onto it. He's not someone who fights for what he needs that often because people don't even approach him. This is very alpha male energy. So beta males avoid getting into a direct battle with him because they know that he most likely will clean their clock. They've seen it done with other beta males. And so this energy embodies the qualities of all 4 kings rolled into one person because of all the life experiences that they have had. And usually this will be a figure of authority, someone that is wise. People can come to the Emperor. He's whatever career or industry that this person is in, they would be at the top. And then we have a breath of fresh air coming in. So this is communication or information coming in about a situation that maybe frees this energy up. I feel like this is talking about you wanting to move forward to do something that you love. It doesn't necessarily have to be about romantic love. I feel like this is more of wanting to get into your divine purpose. Like you have this great idea, but you just can't seem to get it launched, or you can't convince other people this is a great idea. So this is talking about the Page of Swords, information, communication coming in. The pages would work for the king and the queen at a very young age, 7 to 14. That could be an indication of something like this. Could be something that you have been wanting to do since you were very young. And maybe a lot of times people can't see that. They can only see the negatives in it. They can't see what you're talking about as being a huge opportunity. But this is a breath of fresh air. So it could be maybe the Emperor can see the opportunity and he's capable of bringing this energy out of you and being able to empower you to be able to move forward in this energy. I feel like that's what it's basically about in this reading. We do have, so the pages, they would work for the king and the queen very young, 7 to 14, because you have to think about back then, the life expectancy was half of what it is now. So this is talking about new thoughts coming in, new energy. The Page of Swords, he is looking at... he's looking away from the sword because he already knows the logical question. What he wants to know is he wants to think outside the box and look for a creative solution by using his intuition. And so this is talking about that energy. This also is, as I said, he would work for the king and queen very young, and this would be a real coup for him. Because, back then, like this, he'd be dressed in finery and be educated with the ways of the elites and live a much finer lifestyle than a lot of other people back then. And when he was 21, if he was still suitable, he had been doing a really good job, he might even be considered for knighthood. So when the communication comes in the old days, this would always be a male, this would always be in person. But you need to understand that the tarot cards are actually archetypes representing masculine and feminine energy. They're not gender specific. So these days, this could easily be a female energy that is, or a female that's in her masculine energy. The communication, you don't need to wait for a page to show up at your door. This could be more likely to be a phone call, a text message, maybe something arriving in the mail, documents or something of that sort. It could also represent maybe an email. You're on social media, you see something on social media, it gives you a great idea and then you run with it. This could represent the energy of going to an event and then you run into someone in person, and it might be this emperor, and he hears your idea and he right away can see the opportunity in it, and he's like, I'm excited about this. And so this can be a real breath of fresh air. This could be like an epiphany, an aha moment where you just like, yes, finally someone sees my idea and they're willing to support it and help me push it through. And so this is a breath of fresh air, a new opportunity coming in, new information and communication. And it could be also representing the energy of, if you think back to the page starting around 7 and then working for the king and queen at 21 and then possibly becoming a knight. This could be talking about, this could be the person you meet could be someone that you've known since you were a child, but maybe haven't seen for a long time, like maybe 7 years, 14 years, 21 years. You could have known them back when you were in elementary school, high school, met them at college, university, or when you first started out in the workforce, that type of energy. And so this is talking about, that might give you a clue who this might be, or if you bump into them or you get a message from them or whatever, it would be that type of energy. And then we have, look at this, we have the Queen of Cups at the top of the, this might be someone that your mother knows or someone from your maternal line. Now this is an interesting card because if this is about love and there is a new cup of love coming in, this could represent like someone that wants to marry you. This is the most, or that you want to marry. This is the most maternal card of them all. So this can be talking about, this would be someone who most likely would be in a traditional marriage. And this is the type, the cup that she has is like a trophy. Look how big it is. And it has this lid on it. And it's talking about being a container of unconditional love. So this could be someone maybe that you meet through your mother or someone that's on your maternal line, some sort of energy with that. Sometimes the Queen of Cups can represent someone who is like, it's talking about your maternal bloodline. So your mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, great-great-grandmother down the line. And also it can be representing people that you think of as a mother figure. It could be someone that, female cousins. It could be aunts, that type of thing. So if you are married, it could be your mother-in-law and her family line down. So this card sometimes does represent energy around finding something out about your maternal bloodline that maybe you didn't know. It's sitting at the top here because this represents the DNA basically down the family line. And the way they can trace the maternal bloodline is because of the mitochondria in your cells. So the mitochondria, it's like the battery of your cell. And this is something that the mother passes down to both her sons and daughters, but like they're both affected by it, but only the daughters actually pass this on to their daughters. And so you can, when they're looking into DNA testing for ancestry, they can follow the maternal bloodline that way. And so there could be something to do with that coming through. This could be someone maybe a long distant relative some that comes in, or you meet a long distance relative and they know someone, something like that. This is talking about wanting to start out on a new adventure, possibly after having disappointment in love and deciding, to go single and just go do what you maybe wanted to do way back when, when you were younger. You've always wanted to do this and you're like determined, okay, this is what I'm doing now. I finally have the opportunity. I'm on my own again. I'm going to go after this opportunity that I missed out on before. And you maybe meet this Emperor energy. This could represent your energy as well now, talking about you're in this energy. You've learned a lot from your life and now you're ready to high level performance move forward into this situation. I feel like there could be an energy of meeting someone and that maybe is from past in your history, way back, maybe someone that you've never met before, someone that that could give you information that would really make sense to you and allow you to really move forward in your journey way quicker. And then we have like this breath of fresh air when this information is shared and the communication comes through to put you in this energy of like being on that path of glory. And that's this here. So some hidden illusion or secrets could be coming up. And you're finally going to get the information about that. It's going to give you all sorts of opportunities to move forward with whatever this has been that you've been working on in the background. Maybe it's been percolating on the back burner for years. It could be since you were a child. And now it's coming up. And there could be some love coming in. That's not the 100% meaning, but I feel that this is talking about stuck energy. And that this has been maybe, this energy has been stuck for a while. You've been working on something and just keep running into one disappointment after the other in people and places and things, like it's just like, when is this going to finally take? This is talking about having a lot of determination to make something happen. So we're going to clarify this now with the oracle cards for those that want further clarification. Might give you some more of an idea of what is going on, or what can we possibly do to move this forward. It looks like it's been percolating for a long time. It's time for it to rise to the surface. So I'm going, this is from my oracle, and the numbers on these cards represent numbers on the paintings that there's 64 of them. Whoa, look at all this. So these are from the numbers on these cards represent the paintings as they're listed in my gallery on my website, talesfromthevector.com. In the description box below, I am going to put them in the order they appear here, so that you can take a look at them. That might give you further idea of how to move forward. So dissemination of information, like all three of these are tactics that people use, and there's only 7 tactics out of 64 cards. And look we've got 3 of them, boom, right here. So if you're wondering what has been keeping this energy stuck, it's been tactics that have been used to keep it stuck for some reason. Dissemination, there's an elephant in the room. What elephant? So this sometimes can be, it can be talking about politics. Sometimes there could be some sort of politics holding this back. Now, politics could represent government and institutions, but it also could represent politics within your family, or politics within your industry, that type of politics. It could be politics within a community or a town or a city, that type of energy. So this is talking about believing in your own press, and possibly, this is talking about dissemination of information is when people talk in circles so that you never really get the idea of what's going on. And this is like when people in power actually believe that they're above the law and that they can stop something that's going to happen. A lot of time that can be that, and it can be about you thinking, I'm too small, who am I to come up against an elephant, And when there's an elephant in the room and other people are saying there's no elephant, and it's like, yeah, well, can't you see the elephant? It's right there. Or maybe you can't see the elephant and they can. And so it's about looking at things from all perspectives and hovering and, maneuvering and getting, not keeping you stuck. Well, maybe they're using your ideas, that could be. And then we have the denial. What I don't know won't hurt me. So this is self-denial also. So a lot of times if we get, like, this could be, a situation where you've had people that have been in your romantic life that maybe were even sent in to be disappointing to you, get you caught up in all the, drama of love. And then while you're busy doing that, they're off doing your ideas. It could be that. And then dissension with friends like this who needs enemies. So this is swimming with sharks, definitely. But any hidden illusions and secrets are coming out about this now. I'm just picking up this energy that with this eclipse energy, and I keep getting that idea of like something percolating on the back burner, like potpourri, and that's how I explain the eclipse. You don't really realize that you're making progress until you look back like 6 months ago. What have you accomplished? And you might be surprised you accomplished way more. So this is about kind of the tactics being used to keep you thinking, well, I'm only one small person. I can't make this happen on my own. I need other people to help me make this happen, which may be true in some ways, but sometimes those people are making it happen, just not with you, if that makes sense. And so you're stuck, but they're getting ahead. And then we have temperance. But this is saying that this is something you've been holding on, devoted to this. You are determined to bring this out. On some level that this was what this is your own unique quality that you're destined to do in some way, and you just have to get it right, And it's something that you love doing anyway, so it doesn't feel like work. That's why you're able to maybe, this energy can go way back to when you were like a very young, like in kindergarten. When people ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a star, and they're like, oh, okay, then, you might want to get an education and, get a degree. And look at this, degradation. So, maybe this is talking on a broader scale about how, when we're children and we have all these beautiful ideas and we don't see the problems, we just see the possibilities wrapped up in them. And everybody, like the adults around us, are kind of hard into life, and they degrade that. I don't get it's necessarily like something that they want to do or they realize they're doing, but how many times, think about it, if you have a toddler and you've ever raised babies and they're toddlers, how many times have you had to tell your toddler no, 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 no? It's like when they first start learning to talk and their first word is no. Don't touch that. You have to teach them. Don't touch that. That's the stove. It's hot. You're going to burn yourself. Don't do that. You can't, you have to eat quality food before you eat candy. You're going to get sick if you eat too much of that. So it's meant as like, it's not meant to water people down, but it does, because how many times can you be told no? And I feel like that's kind of the same energy with whatever this project you're on, but you're still determined to go ahead and do it. And then we have judgment coming in. This is God's judgment. This is cosmic judgment. This is saying this is meant to happen. It's not your imagination. This is something that you have a lot of love for, and it's in your bloodline. It's something that you're supposed to do, that you came down, like this is galactic energy almost, like it's a special quality that your maternal bloodline carries. And it's not everybody has this. That's the star energy, when you have something different about you that others can't maybe see, or you can't even see sometimes. But you always have known that this is it's like you've had an epiphany at some point, saying, I know this is what I need to do. And other people are looking at you like you're stubborn because like it doesn't make sense. Like how long have you been working on this and you still haven't, it doesn't even feel like it's really off the ground yet in some ways. But that's a judgment that only God can make, actually. This is the universe and God coming together to collaborate. This is cosmic judgment as well as the judgment of the universe saying, no, it's time for you to take this, whatever this is, from your maternal love, bloodline and bring those special qualities down. Yes, it's very unique. You're a star. You're supposed to be unique. You're not supposed to blend in. So yeah, if you've been working on something and I feel like the energy's finally unstuck, I just think you were before your time. How many geniuses are out there that have all these amazing ideas and people look at them like that, and then like 30 years later, 40 years later, usually after they've passed on, like think about Nikola Tesla, what a genius he was and what the kind of energy he went through, to the ridicule and everything he went through, and it was very hard. But now people look up to him, and say, what a genius, So yeah, this is talking about God and the universe saying, no, keep going. This is your unique quality that you're meant to bring down to earth. And it may seem like you're not, it's like this eclipse energy. It may seem like you're not really getting anything accomplished, but you're not really seeing how much you have accomplished. Like you're not seeing it through the eyes of someone that can see what you're doing. Yeah, I don't know. This is a different reading. I like it though. It's a good, optimistic, even though we have like 4 tactics out of 7 here. That's pretty wild. All right. I do hope you've enjoyed the reading. Thank you so much for your time and energy and your likes and comments, shares, subscribes. I appreciate them all. I'll be back with another reading about random shift for you soon. Bye for now.